Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In today's video we are taking a look at Windows 11 to see if it is any good or if you should stay on your current version. So this video is in chapters, so if you would like to skip ahead then feel free, and I have timestamps in the description as well. So as you can see, the time lapse of me installing Windows 11 is in the background, and it was a little bit of a tricky process as it had requirements which the VM did not have, but I bypassed them by using the regedit file which I had previously made in another video, which I will also link in the description and in the top right of the current video. But other than that, it was completely easy. It was a bit slow, but I think that's probably because I was recording the VM using OBS at the same time, so I have sped this up so you don't have to wait. But the setup process was exactly like any other version of Windows. I believe the setup process has been exactly the same as Vista, to be honest with you. The new logo is very nice in my opinion, so it's a bit of a lazy job. It's very easy to make yourself, you can just do it with a bit of gradient, but it's a nice logo. However, I think they should have put a bit more effort into that one. But it didn't take too long, it took about half an hour, and the reason it took so long is because I was screen capping with OBS at the same time. If I wasn't screen capturing, I'd probably only take me 10 minutes, but yeah. So that's the main installation process. Alright, so this is the second chapter where I finish the setup for the out-of-box experience. I then proceed to set up VMware tools to make the VM run much smoother. I also do boost the VM to have 3 gigs of RAM at some point, just because 2.5 was a bit slow, so it made sense to give it a bit of a boost. And then after that I changed the background up and changed the theme after a bit of activation, because activation was a little bit of a pain. It was quite hard to find a KMS key to activate on a KMS server, but once I did find one and I managed to get it working, it was pretty easy. It was just like any other version. So post setup was completely easy. All I had to do was literally anything. I could just download a background and apply it, and if I wanted to install Firefox I could probably install it very easily. It's not exactly hard, there's nothing really different about this stage, it's just I thought it'd be quite nice to see as a time lapse. So the next chapter is about fluency, which means how the system flows and how easy it is to use. So I'm going to start off with the new start menu, as it's called the start menu, and I am starting. I am not funny. Okay, right. So the new start menu I do quite like, because I find it is more condensed now that the pinned tiles are gone. So you know the live tiles on Windows 10, they were just like so pointless and annoying, because you would open your start menu to see a horrible mass of these horrid icons that you don't need, and you have to go through and unpin them all. Now with Windows 11 there are still stupid links which you probably won't want, but it is much more condensed into smaller icons. Yet there are still stupid things in there, but it's better than it was. I do like how much more condensed it is than having these clunky live tiles. I don't mind how the start menu is altogether. I don't really like the recent files bit at the bottom. That just feels like a bit like, why would I want to see my recent files when I can just go find it anyway? But that's my overall opinions on the new start menu. As for the taskbar, I do like having the ability to centralize it as well as put it to the left, but I don't like how when you right click it only has one option. The fact you have to go into taskbar settings to change anything is really annoying, and right clicking to open task manager or anything else is so annoying, because you have to right click the actual start button to get into the Windows key X menu, which even that might not have the right options. So if you wanted to open task manager, you'd have to get used to doing it another way rather than right clicking the taskbar, which I find is a very stupid thing Microsoft have done. I do hope they revoke this, because having to learn different ways of opening programs is so annoying. It's quite like a Windows 8 situation. So you've upgraded from Windows 7 to go to Windows 8, this whole start screen is going to be weird. That's the same kind of situation. They've broken the taskbar in a way. As for the settings panel, I quite like how much more unified it is. It still needs work, but I do like how much more unified and how easy it is to use, because rather than having to go through a million categories just to get to Windows Update, you can just click on Windows Update, like right there and then. And I just like the new settings panel personally, but that's again user preference. But in my opinion, the new settings panel is actually really nice. So as for performance, the VM ran pretty smoothly when I wasn't recording with OBS, but when I did start recording, it did slow down a bit. As you saw in this time lapse, it does feel a bit slow. It took about 4 minutes to boot up, but if I didn't have the OBS recording, it would probably only take 1 minute. That's just because my computer doesn't really like it being recorded, as running a high-end VM with 3 gigs of RAM and screen recording is quite very intensive, so it didn't really like it. But as you can see, it does run pretty well. It's just when recording, it does seem to lag a bit. However, the VM does run well when I am not recording. The animations are very smooth. The VM does seem to work as nice as it can. But the main reason I sped up most of this is to stop it looking like it's laggy, because it isn't laggy. It is actually really good off camera. It's just it doesn't look like that in the videos, so I speed up to make it look better. But other than that, the VM is completely amazing. I'm very happy with Windows 11 in this shot. But that leads me on to the conclusion. So to finish up, I'm going to answer the final question which this video was about. Is Windows 11 any good? And the answer is yes and no. It depends on what you expect. If you want a nice, sleek operating system and you have a fairly high-end computer, it should run just fine, but expect maybe your resources to get quite high quite quickly. For example, maybe RAM usage might spike occasionally, but that's just because a newer operating system is going to need more resources. That's just how logic really works. But if you have a lower end computer, I don't recommend installing Windows 11. I have actually tried installing it on my old laptop in the past, and it was incredibly slow, froze after half an hour, and when I tried to boot it again, it got stuck on a black screen. So I do not recommend installing it on a lower end computer unless you have a quite good one like I do, like a Intel Core i5 or even just a Core i3 computer. Just as long as you have more than 4 gigabytes of RAM and a Core i3, then you should have a good enough computer for it. Now there is also the debate of the TPM chip, and you don't actually need it. It's just a stupid requirement Microsoft have chucked in there for the sake of doing so, and if you do not have it, you can actually patch it. I will put the patch registry file I used in this specific video I just recorded. I'll put the file in the description so you can use it if you need to. It basically just bypasses all the requirements. I'm not sure how long this will work, but you can try it yourself if you need it, and it will allow you to install. So if you want Windows 11, go ahead and install it. It's your choice. And to answer the question, it's decent. It's not bad. But personally, I'm going to stick with Windows 10. It's going to take off.